Hey YouTube, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox. Hey, do you own your possessions, your stuff, or do they own you? You know, if you've been watching this channel for any length of time at all, you realize that I live in a camper trailer most of the time. It's a 17-foot camper trailer. I've given you tours of it on my channel. And I've been living there since December with my wife. And I recently stayed in a hotel suite that was probably 3 times bigger than the trailer I'm living in. 3 times bigger. And, you know, I think the bathroom was as big as my trailer. And I would have rather been in my trailer. Now, why would I? Because my wife was there. But the truth is, I would have rather been in the trailer than in that hotel suite. How much space do you need? You know, I have a lot of peers who have retired from the military, like I have, and they buy huge houses. Well, I think they're huge. You know, 4,000 plus feet, you know, 4,700 square feet, manicured lawns, yada, yada, yada. Puts them in the, you know, these guys who have enough money who, you know, well, puts them in the poorhouse, makes them continue to have to work forever so that they can afford this monstrosity of a house for 2 people, typically, right? A man and a woman, because by the time most people retire from the military, all their kids are grown and out, and they buy these huge houses, and I used to shake my head and wonder why. Right now, you know, I'm back here in Kansas, at my house in Kansas, and it's a nice house. I don't know, it's a 2,000 square foot house. You know, it only has 2 bedrooms in it, really. But it feels way big to me. You know, it feels like it's too big of a house. And so consider the house you're living in right now. And really, I think it's hard to consider the house you're living in while you're living in it. But I'll just give you this. I talk to a lot of people who say they would love to do what I'm doing. You know, they would love to get a piece of land and move out into the wilderness, come out of her, my people, or homestead. You know, they'd like to go homestead or something like that. And they can't do it. And one of the reasons they can't do it is because they just simply cannot afford to buy the land and put a house like that on it. You can. You just have to change the way you think about things. My good friend and brother, Pastor Dal, he started out a community by putting, I don't know, 14, 15 people in one house. And this was multiple families, right? This wasn't even all like kin initially. They were brothers and sisters in the Most High, but and they all lived in one house and combined their money until they had enough money to go buy land. So how much space did each person have? I think he told me they only had 1 bathroom, right, for all those people. They put up with some pain in order to get what's just a gorgeous, you know, Yah-blessed place. Now, when they moved from that house onto the land, they moved into some leaky barn or something, and then they moved into used single-wide trailers, and now, you know, lo, these many years later, they're moving most people into regular houses. But it takes time, it takes sacrifice, and what are you willing to give up to get where you are? You know, I see that with Shofar Mountain a lot. A lot of you have been to Straightway, and not many of you have been to Shofar Mountain. There's probably a reason for that. But a lot of people are like, they want Straightway, right? I would love to live there. What they don't realize is what Straightway was like 12 years ago, 15 years ago, and who those people were that came before and built it up from the bottom up. Where am I getting to? You can have what you want. You just got to get rid of what you have. You know, get rid of some of your possessions, get rid of some of your ideas. This bedroom that I'm in right now, filming this video, is huge. It's probably 3 times as big as my camper trailer. Man, you know what? Right now I would like to have a house this big down at Shofar Mountain, and we're working on that. The early American pioneers, you know, that came across the country, the European ones, they built really small cabins, houses, you know, and they lived in those fine, and they settled this country that way. Look at the Native Americans. Look at the type of housing they lived in. Wigwams or teepees, and then if you do the communal living ones, the long houses. But look at how much square feet each person had. And they were thriving, you know, they were doing fine. And yet we build these huge houses, and we trap ourselves into thinking that we need a huge house to live in. I'm telling you, I used to say all the time, even before I started walking this path, I'd rather have a lot of land with a little house than a huge house on a little land. Um, so think about that, and I'll just throw this in there because somebody else posted on my Facebook today that they would love to have 50 acres, out in the middle of nowhere, yada, yada, yada. The right 5 or 10 acres will get you the same thing. You can get 5 or 10 acres that's surrounded on 3 sides, sometimes 4 sides, by national forest, state forest, BLM land, something like that, if you look for it. And maybe if you don't have enough money to buy that, you could go in with some other people and buy that. And yeah, I know I've heard, oh, the government, whatever. You can either stay where you are or you can come out of her, my people. And I'm just trying to give you some things to think about. I look at the stuff that I have in this house that I'm sitting in right now, and I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to get rid of it. I may just give it away. I mean, honestly, I have so much stuff. And what do you need? Look at what the pilgrims came across this country, came across the ocean to this country. Read a book about that. They didn't have very many tools and things when they came across. Look at what the average Native American family owned, as far as stuff goes. Why do we have all this stuff? My Lord. I don't need this stuff, and it won't fit in my little house that I'm going to build anyway. Hey, things to think about. Simplify your life. Get rid of some of this worldly stuff. I don't even want it anymore. I mean, I've been living down at Shofar Mountain so long now. This actually, I'm in my own house in Kansas, and it feels a little obscene. And anybody who's been in my house will tell you it's not a big house. Here. Wow. Simplify your life, and you can do the things that you want to do. Like I always say, just do it. You want to get out? Get out. You want a new job? Get a new job. I'll see you out there.